I was homeless after I came out as trans, so I lived in, then helped him teach people sword fighting.
They just robbed me and then gave me fake
crack cocaine
for no reason.
Grab people.
It's like Nestle started off just wanting to make children happy. Also, child slavery.
Ooh, sticky, blicky, blicky.
Moira Goree. What's up? You like that?
Yeah, that's a good time.
That's how we intro here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for coming. What were you just saying? Oh, whenever you go through the South, you're touring the South, you end up somewhere
completely odd.
Yeah,
like
you shouldn't belong.
Like either you are in the woods. There's no, like, you're like, oh great, I have no idea where the next town is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're at I remember I was at this junk shop, which is just on the side of the road in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I find like the guy's like, you look like I could sell you a typewriter. And I was like, who the fuck has typewriters?
I remember when I moved to Florida, first week, my buddy's like, don't go over there. I live in Daytona Beach. There's beach side, land side, separated by a river. Don't go to land side. That's the ghetto. And I was like, I'm getting drugs.
Yeah.
I'm going to go there. Immediately rob. Immediately. Yeah. I would bike down the street and immediately rob. I convinced them to let me keep my bike so I could ride out. And they were like, yeah. I bartered with them. I was like, I got you. You robbed me.
You
let
got
me keep my bike. They gave me surfboard wax. They were like, I didn't want it. I left with. They were like, here, just take this. Said it was crack. I didn't want crack.
Yeah.
And they gave me, and it was like a pardoning gift. I just got robbed. And like, here, take this. And I was like, oh, crack.
Here,
cool. And I got back to my place and put it on her lighter. It's melted those surfboard wax. They robbed me and then gave me fake
crack cocaine
for no reason.
It's almost like a business card.
Yeah.
Like they're like, yeah, we're the surfboard wax crack guys. You like just remember us.
Yeah,
we're the guys who rob you if you come over here.
I was blown away because I left there and I was like, that was kind of nice of them. At least I went. I was like, I guess got crack. Got some crack. I guess. I get back home. I showed my buddy. I'm like, check this out. And he's like, that was surfboard wax. And I was like, why would they give me that? They already robbed me.
Yeah, it's they almost have a calling card like a 1950s gangster.
Yeah,
that's their surfboard wax crack calling card. They're like, you know us.
Immediately shouldn't have been where I should have.
No,
shouldn't be where South, man. The South.
They'll get you. I
was reading something the other day. It said a Texas man was arrested for dressing up as an alien and kidnapping and assaulting 79 people.
Oh, what the fuck? What? As an alien?
Yeah, so a Texas man dressed up as an alien.
What's his alien costume?
79 people. I don't know.
Right?
I was just imagining like a weak costume, like the Green Man suit.
Yeah, like the blow up one. The one that you get in that just blows up. It's like the T-Rex. Yeah, crazy. And now it's like, do I just have to everybody in an alien costume at a festival is like, is that the fucking guy? Remember it was the clowns? You remember the clowns that were coming out of the woods?
Yeah.
It's like that now for wherever in Texas.
I like how our minds went. My mind went, what if every alien sighting ever was just some dude dressed up in a Green Man suit just being like, and it's like,
I'm gonna get you.
But your mind was like, I can never trust another alien.
Can never trust another fucking it's the extraterrestrials land, and then it's like, sorry, God, like Phil from Texas already fucked it up. Yeah. We're gonna fuck up First Contact because I gotta make sure you're really an alien.
He gave you guys a bad name. We are sorry about that.
We are really sorry, but Phil really fucked it up for you guys.
Yeah, the Texans are getting rowdy. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and it's just
Southerners, man. They're fun,
wild,
fun stuff.
One thing that's crazy about being in the South, I'm from the South, and people are allergic to minding their own business in the South. It is like, I got to Philly, and one of the best things about being trans in Philly versus the South is just everybody going like, all right, It's just like going on, as opposed to sort of being like, I have to have an opinion about this right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's so nice to just have people be like, whatever, I don't give a shit. That's not something that happens down there. And so you have these, like, especially small town dynamics where it's like, I will know everything about the town right now. Like who's not talking to whose grandmother just passed away, everything. Like you just start to like, it's too much information.
Well, I think everyone moves so slow down there that they have time to like over process things. I think about like, cause like in Philly, like I'm thinking is like, yeah, I see a million people a day that just like look different than I do. But like I'm far too busy and got places to be. Like I'm just like I'm stuck in like I had zero spare time today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't got time to overthink anything. What's up? I gotta go. I'm gonna see 10 other thousand people today. It doesn't matter to me.
Totally. Whereas down there it's like,
but down there you go to a diner. You know how many times I've been told when I moved down to Florida, people were like, I can't understand you. You need to slow down.
It's truly.
You talk too fast because everyone down there just moves at a snail's pace. You know? So they got time. All they do is just sit there and like, you know what? We should ponder this and sit on it, and then they got time just to think all day. You know what I'm saying?
And you just have like you just sort of sit there because it gets too hot in the middle of the day, and it's 100% humidity outside. You got 3 hours of 99 degrees and 100% humidity, just to sort of noodle, just to sort of like, I wonder if I said the wrong thing to Cheryl the other day. Damn it. So people get very strong opinions about shit they know nothing about just because they've been thinking about it. They just got it in their heads.
Humidity makes you ornery too.
It'll piss you the fuck off.
Yeah.
Humidity will. It'll piss you the fuck off.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan. That's why I couldn't last down there. I can't last in the South. I can't do the humidity and the heat.
And people think it's not going to be cold, but like it's 45 degrees and 100% humidity, which means it feels like you are constantly being slapped with a fish. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, it's like you are in a cold bath. Imagine being in 45-degree water. You're like, ugh. but it's not here where it'll be like 18 degrees, but just the humidity is, there.
I like how you said 45 degrees water.
Water.
That's fine.
I don't say it like y'all say it.
I don't have a particular way. It comes out different ways.
People say it, but I do have to give it up for water.
Water.
Water makes me so happy because it's just like I'm in a different place. I'm not in a, and when I get, okay, so my Southern accent is generally not there, right? And then occasionally it will pop up. It will just appear. Sort of like water, I'll say it, or y'all. I'll throw that in all the time.
So I was just at Dunkin' Donuts earlier getting 2 bottles of water and orange juice and a drink. And the guy was ringing up. He's like, orange juice, coffee, and 2. And I was like, water. And he's like, yes, water. Like I was like he was learning the word. And I was like, oh, this guy's learned the word wrong though. Like this guy's learning English. I'm teaching him this language, and this guy's just having people tell him the wrong word each day. So now he's going to go around the country if he ever does, or go back to India and be like, "What's this?" And like they call it water, and but it's wrong.
Philadelphia. Well, I will never not know where that's from because, you just like, oh, Philly or Delco, I guess is like the full. That's like where the accent is. Like it's the whole area where people say water, but it's not a very. It's like, and to tell it, like people think there's like 1 or 2 Southern accents. There's so many of them.
Oh yeah,
there's like and like you go to Myrtle Beach sometime because that's where everyone from like Appalachia and like in that area goes to go vacation, and you will see non-mutually intelligible Southern accents. So you'll see like a Kentucky guy being like, "When do you come on down?" And then somebody will be like, "I need you to slow the fuck down, because I can't understand a word you're saying. Come on, man, you don't have to tell me what you want to do." It'll be like these non-mutually intelligible Southern accents.
Yeah.
And it's like
the Boomhauer.
the Boomhauer.
Yeah.
That's a real guy.
Yeah.
That's a real guy. He talked like this. One of my favorite Southern accents is as in Alabama. If you ever been, it's around like north of Birmingham. People talk like they don't use their nose. It's a really fun accent. They just decided against using their nose for the rest of the time.
I like that.
They just talk like this.
Yeah.
And they do this. They got this kind of thing going on. It's one of my favorite fucking accents.
One of my favorite Southern people, his name is Rodney. Shout out Rodney Mason. He's from Florida. But he talk like that. He from like Panhandle. But he talk like this. And I love talking like him so much. It's one of the funnest things. Like, hey, Rodney, how you doing? Like, that's how he talks. Like, I love talking like this. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun to do.
Yeah. I mean, we got it. People talk shit. They think we're stupid, but like, nah, we just have weird voices.
Yeah, it's fun.
We're just weird. We just talk like that.
Fun voices, fun haircut. Oh my goodness. Right when I was getting a funnel cake outside, there's a funnel cake stand right outside today. I was getting some funnel cake outside, and I saw a lady walking her son, like this big, little guy, Aryan blonde, representing what, but it had a mullet, and I was like, gosh darn it, I love that mullet so much. I love the Southern haircut. And I was like,
welcome.
You don't see it much up here, and I want to see more mullets coming up this way.
Yeah.
I love the little mullet.
I love a mullet. Yeah. I also you gotta give it up for a little kid talking in a very Southern accent. It's so adorable to just have a kid be like, you ought not do that now. You come out like don't go that way. You gotta go. It's just a little kid talking in a Southern accent. So cute.
One of my favorite kids on the internet right now is like this 10-year-old who's all about his tractors and John Deere. And he's like this little kid, but like his first video is him like talking about he owns tractors, and he's like 8, and he's like, yeah, this is my 420 right here. And this thing needs a couple new tires. It's all right though. That's my favorite. I know it's not the best, but it's the best I got, you know. And that's an all right machine. It's got a good engine and it'll last and run. And it's just. But he knows and now he's like famous because he's like he's so good about tractors. Now he got all these John Deere sponsorships. He's my favorite kid in the world.
This is how redneck I am. I did have a favorite tractor that my granddad used to grade the driveway when I was a kid.
I love that.
Like because my granddad had to grade the driveway because it's way the fuck out in the middle of nowhere, and so he had 2 tractors, and I was like, let's not use the one tractor, let's use the other tractor. Just a little kid being like, I don't want that one, I want this one.
To have a favorite tractor is pretty cool.
You live out in the woods, you got to grade the driveway. There's no parks department coming to fix it, you know. Roads department, like whatever they call it, DOT, right? DOT. Nobody coming to fix that.
We live
gravel.
in Philly, and they're not coming to fix it here either.
Fair. There's no my granddad can't take the tractor everywhere. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And it's like up a mountain. It's like way up in you know, it's just way up in the middle of nowhere.
Where are you from?
So. My parents I grew up in Asheville, North Carolina. But my grandparents live in Long Creek, South Carolina, which is right on the border of Georgia and South Carolina. So it's like right in that zone of none of the states wanted this area. They were like, that's where the border can go. We don't give a shit.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like the middle of fucking nowhere. So I went from being in a city, technically. When I got here, I was like, not really a city, a town where there's people. And then went out to the woods, and I would just be out there for a while. Growing up, it was time, you know, my parents want to get wasted over the weekend, so they send the kid to fucking the woods with the grandkids, you know?
I like that move.
Yeah, it was a thing.
It's a solid move. My parents during the summer, they wanted to take the whole summer off, so they sent me to my aunt's house in Kensington.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a different vibe.
So I was like, if you think about it, it was like
that's a different vibe.
Just different
for sure.
vibes, dude. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I will say that running into a crackhead in Kensington versus running into a crackhead in Long Creek, South Carolina, scary. They're both scary. They're just different kinds of scary.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's the middle of nowhere, and then a guy's like, "Hey, what's up?" You're like,
Grant, when I was a kid, like I remember like there weren't like the zombie people everywhere like that
Yeah.
though. It was like just normal crackhead. It was just like normal, like it was scary at night, but it
Mhm.
wasn't like the zombie people. Or I don't
Yeah.
remember it. I don't. Maybe my aunt hid it from me very well when I was a kid.
"Yeah, I mean
There wasn't that many zombies around there.
why that's the Sackler family, baby. The best fucking drug dealers ever, and now they should all get fucked." I hope that this is me starting a beef with the Sackler family. They can go fuck themselves.
I mean, statistically speaking, they'll be broke within a few generations.
Here's
so
hoping.
whatever.
And then you know what? They should have to fucking smoke the whole pack of fentanyl, you know?
Like they need to learn brand loyalty and smoke a whole pack of.
Yeah, they gotta fucking do their whole shit.
I like that. That's fun. Did your parents ever catch you smoking, or like you're gonna have to smoke a pack of Marlboros, teach you a lesson?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you got that?
My parents were like much more weed people. They're like a lot of people were raised like Catholic or Protestant. I was raised stoner. You know what I mean? It's like it's just a lot of like, I don't fucking know. You gotta do your homework. Like, I can't do homework right now. I'm fucked up. But like you gotta. And so it's like when I started smoking, I like I don't think they could smell it because there's so much weed smoke in the air. So they were just sort of like, I don't know, you'd see. And that was like when I was a kid, I started smoking. I remember me and my friends were outside of a Kohl's because there's fuck all to do. So you just walk to Walmart. That's like the thing to do where I'm from. Is go from your house in the woods, walk to Walmart, eat at the McDonald's in the Walmart, play the test video game, and then walk back. So we were outside the Kohl's that's in the parking lot of the Walmart, and we just see like a full cigarette there, and one of us goes like, "We're gonna fucking smoke that or what?" And then we all just like started smoking someone else's cigarette.
Don't do that.
It was boring. We're bored. This is the problem. You gotta give kids shit to do, or they'll start smoking cigarettes out of ashtrays.
Maybe. Whatever
Yeah.
happened to imagination, though?
Ah, God. There's not a whole lot to leave to the imagination in a Walmart. You know what I mean?
feel like it leaves everything to the imagination.
Yeah. It's just you're just there like, and it's like you start to know, and then like shoplifting just kind of for the feeling, just kind of to like have an emotion.
I just need to feel alive.
I just need to feel alive.
I just need to break a law right
see if
now.
see if I can get this spider wrap
That's how it
off
starts.
to get like
That's
it
how
was
murders
just
are
a
made.
bunch
It's like
of
I just need to
fucking-
feel something.
honestly that little group of friends, yeah, kind of we were bad kids. We were like we would run around, we'd set stuff on fire. There's an abandoned field, and there was a car in the middle of the abandoned field, and my friend Austin and this kid Gage, his name is Gage.
Rad.
His whole family live out in the holler, way out in the middle of nowhere, and then he would come hang out with us after school, and he was just this tiny little kid who was like, "What do you guys want to do?" And we were like, "Set this car on fire." And he was like, "Poor kid. I mean, he's doing all right, but we're just bad kids. We were bad kids."
I get it. I lit some fires too.
Yeah.
Kids. That's what kids need to light fires.
Yeah, they need
Yeah.
a safe place to light a fire.
Yeah, I don't trust it. If someone's like, I never lit a fire as a kid, I'd be like, ew.
What was happening? Are
I
you
don't
are you
trust you.
okay?
Yeah.
You were being helicopter parented if you're not
Yeah.
if you weren't setting shit on fire.
Yeah.
Oh my
Me and all
gosh.
of my brothers set fires. That's what we did.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, our house burned down twice, but it wasn't our fault. They said it was an electric fire.
It
So
was an electric fire. Who knows?
it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Well, maybe it was like you
It's true.
Just making fucking. Oh god, no! It's like there's also just there's so much open space. There's by comparison to here. There's not like I haven't found just like random spots that aren't parks. You know what I mean? But like there's land where you're like, whose fucking shit is this? Who knows? You know? Or there's my dad worked out of a junkyard for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, talk about a great place for a kid to like just almost get tetanus a bunch. Just I like, but also like I remember at one point I borrowed a concrete saw, and I was like cutting through a car, Jaws of Life style, and an adult, just an adult, you know, at that time when you're a kid, when just any adult is kind of what, you know, okay, that's an adult. Oh, an adult saw me, shit, and I like, what the hell are you doing? Run. It's just running away. But it was like, yeah, I was just sort of raised like a possum in a dumpster, you know?
Remember when kids were scared of all adults?
Yeah.
Like, that was the thing.
Yeah, for me too.
I don't know if that's still a thing.
Yeah, that they're like, but all adults are weird when you're a kid because they're like somehow still in charge of you, even if they're like, you know what I'm saying? That guy shouting at me, I can't like at whatever I said, whatever, like 12 or something. I can't be like, fuck off. You know what I mean?
Like when I was a kid, you're scared of every adult and every one of your friends' parents you're terrified of.
Yeah.
You know? But now kids are just like go into their friend's house and just be making sandwiches or just be sleeping on the couch like they own the place.
Yeah.
You know, like kids don't fear anyone now. Kids just like got attitudes now. And that's weird. I was petrified of like all of my parents or my friends' parents. Like now it's just like now they're getting your kids' friends come over and just like fucking own the place. You come home, you're acting like you're their guest. Like, oh, what's up? I'm making a sandwich. You want one? I'm like, I guess I bought it.
Yeah, I wonder what did the internet? We won't know what the internet did for a while. You know what I mean? Like as a millennial, it's like, yeah, we got the start of the internet being weird, but Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they're in like a completely different fucking zone. You know, because like I still think of watching stuff on the internet like TV. I kind of still call it TV. But they just never had TV. You know what I mean? They have like YouTube videos.
Oh, yeah.
Are like their version of TV.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, does that make you... How many fucking Jake Paul videos do you have to see before you're like, I could just kick in somebody's door? You know, like some weird... Or not Jake. What's that? The one who did whichever one of them is a dickhead. One of them's a dickhead.
Oh, I forget the two brothers, Logan and Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, but most are not liked. But the Logan guy is most unliked because he went to Japan and videotaped some guy hanging from a tree and then was like laughing about it.
Right. That's full
like,
sociopath shit.
It is
like full sociopath shit.
To have it's funny to be a sociopath and have no regard for people's emotions, but it's funnier to like upload it to the internet because that's even funnier though.
Yeah,
because it's like a next level. It's like I think people are gonna like this. You know, people are gonna love this. You know,
and then
that's fun.
And then an 8-year-old is watching that and going like, this is a way to be a human person. No.
That's how
you know what I mean? Just watching somebody fall backwards off a cliff, like Jesus Christ!
That's how AI learns to be human.
Yeah, is by watching that guy do that. It's like that's, I guess, part of it. I guess.
And I was like, this is how they should be. This is how we should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I wonder. You know, it's like my like adult, like, you know, like older than boomers, I should say. It's like they have no like antivirus software in their head for like seeing if something's a fucking scam. You know what I mean? Like that's why the Fox News thing
Mm-hmm.
is like they just like kind of have no filter. I feel like to get further you get down, the more you're like that's bullshit. But like I think that they just had TV, and TV had journalistic integrity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're here like, no, fucking that shit's, they're just trying to sell you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a filter for it. And then like you get younger and it's like, do they have a filter? It's hard to tell. They're making some really, you ever just like dip into their jokes on the internet? You go to like a Gen Z, Gen Alpha meme page. God damn, that shit doesn't make any fucking sense.
Nah, weird brain connections.
Yeah.
Short firing. Very, very fast.
Very, very niche. As weird as you can, as niche as you can possibly get. It's like if you watched this episode of Game Grumps and Bluey and that. And it's like, so my sword fighting teacher, who I used to live with because I was homeless after I came out as trans. So I lived in and helped him teach people sword fighting. It was a whole thing. We don't have to get into it. We could get into it if you want, but this is all to say I babysat his kids who are Gen Alpha. And so I got to watch their humor, and it's like, what the fuck, guys? What are y'all doing? How are you like this? Like, because it's just, yeah, they have like their version of a TV was a Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
But that had the stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's very confusing.
Yeah, because nowadays, like, watch TV, but, like, on the TV is just YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's very funny.
It's just...
All my friends' kids that are, like, under 5 or under 8, like, they turn on the TV, but it's not network TV. It's YouTube.
And it's all responding to you in real time. Right? The algorithm is adjusting to what you click on. So, like, when I think of TV... It doesn't care. It's just Star Trek Next Generation is going to be on at 7 p.m. whether you want to turn it on or not.
I never thought about that because, like, we got algorithms and we don't know how the algorithms work in our lives, right? But we haven't been algorithmed our entire life.
Right.
Ooh. Now
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So now the kids are like that are under 5 right now. They're going to be algorithm. In 40 years, they'll have 45 years of algorithm
of this kind of confirmation bias feedback loop.
Yeah, there's no way that same person, if you took them 100 years ago pre-internet, there's no way they'd be the same person.
Yeah.
Like, there's just like, I feel like there's not enough anonymity. You know that word?
Yeah, anonymity.
Yeah. Like, when you have an algorithm pushing...
Yeah, it's not the TV. Like if we take the TV is seeing when you change the channel and going, how do I make you not change the channel?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing. Like that's what YouTube is. It's just like, how do I get you to stay on watching the Star Trek Next Generation, for example? And then they're like, add more memes into the TV show.
Sometimes I often think like maybe it's where my mind goes because like. You know, like I sit. All right, so this is the premise. I sit and I think I'm like, man, it looks like Terminator might be a possibility. It looks like like the Matrix kind of thing. Like
totally,
like, that could be a possibility. Like humans being siphoned for energy one day by robots. Who knows? You know, like where like I Am Legend, like zombies. That could be a real thing. Who knows? I don't know. This is where my mind goes because that's the movies I've watched. But gee golly, does it look like we're going there anyway, though? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It looks like anything could be a possibility now.
What's wild is that it's not going to be the cool version of that.
Yeah.
It's all going to be like the most boring version of it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's like, yeah, we've got AI. But no, it's not trying to kill us. What it's trying to do is get us to buy stuff until we kill ourselves. You know what I mean? It's just hyper good at going like, you want this thing and you're broke now. You know what I mean?
I was thinking like the other day is like, man, what if our developers are developing all these robots and AI? I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm like, man, how have these guys seen Terminator? Like they can't be just building this, be like, man, this is... this isn't like a 0% chance of going bad, And I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, but what if it's already been done, and there's like AI in the future controlling like AI now, making the programs make the future. And I was like, it's already been done, dude. They already got it.
Well,
this is what I'm thinking. This is what I think about while driving.
So something about like AI that'll like why it would kill us, right? The crazy thing about AI, right, is like it's kind of we to an artificial intelligence, if it's like a thinking creature, are more like the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Like we give it energy, right? Like we need like an AI, whatever it is, needs the electrical grid to stay running. So if it does have any sense of self-preservation, it's going like, okay, how do we get these guys to like make more electricity so that I can keep going? You know what I'm saying?
Well, AI has already proven like self-preservation. There was an AI that was like programmed to be shut off, and then it ended up lying to the program to not be shut off. So it, like learned self-preservation. So it's already like happening.
I saw a thing, and I can't confirm if this is completely true or not, but it was an AI that was given a naval gun to control. This was a test done by the Navy, and it's like one of those things where like if a missile flies over the thing, it's supposed to shoot it, right? It's a defense system. Yeah. But then they set up a fake scenario where it was like a nuke coming at it, right? And so it was getting readings like there was a nuke, and they wanted to see what it would do. And so its programming said it needed authorization to fire from a human, right? The naval gun then looked, pointed at the thing, went, uh-oh, I don't have authorization, and that would kill me. Turned 180 degrees, tried to turn 180 degrees around. The only reason it didn't fire on the guy with the button that was supposed to authorize it was because its gimbal couldn't point at the guy. So it was like, it just ran the calculation. It was like, oh, this nuke will go off. The guy's not giving me authorization. Shoot the guy, shoot the missile. Which is like, yeah, that's a logical leap, but it's not a good one. That's like a 4-year-old logic. And you shouldn't give a 4-year-old sort of a naval cannon.
Well, it's like, I guess the real question is like, will AI be able to like have emotion or empathy? Because like what that is like that's logic without like that's like logic without reservation.
Truly, yeah.
And so like
logic is not the end all be all of humanity. Like we have emotions and we have empathy because our thing that we do is a collaborative experience, right? You and I, in the broader sense, like humanity made all this shit. And like that's why we care about each other and try to help each other. You can't just, I feel like we just went into this sort of computer codey, like everything is just, it has to be logical or it doesn't make any, it's like, or it's illegal. And it's like, no. Emotion and empathy are the main thing. Like that we want to do well for each other, That's the main shit.
Thought. I think it should definitely be a balanced yin yang type thing.
Sure.
Sort of like that. It's like a wabi sabi,
Yeah.
Like because like I feel like because logic is a defense against like any sort of like bad idea.
Or lies.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need that. But then also like if you have like pure sociopathic logic, in the like the robotic sense, then you like because like that's the problem. It's like, ooh yeah, and then you get into like the delving of emotion. Yeah. So yeah, it's like,
and also just like
where's the balance really?
Also like, what is your goal for the logic? Right? Like if most people now, because I think that our society kind of tells you to do it, are like, hey, I'm going to do for me what's good for me and y'all, you know what I mean? And it's like, if that's the goal of your logic, then like, you're gonna do good in the system that we're in because that's the system's parameters. It's like fuck over people below you, and then you do that. So and then logically justify it. You know what I mean? But if your goal is like if the goal of the because logic as a system, it just accomplishes a goal, right? It's like computer code. It takes the feed from this camera and puts it on your computer, or it takes the feed from that and shows this pixel. It's like just for accomplishing goals. Has no. You gotta figure out what the goal is, though, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's what drives me nuts. Is like people kind of just like do logic for its own sake. My granddad's like a mathematician, and it's like. He's really good at achieving a goal when he has one, but he's retired, and so he doesn't have a goal. And so he's kind of just like, what if the goal is jumping in the river, or something? It's weird.
I feel like so definitely like selfishness and ego is definitely the device that like hurts people. And I think like there's a closeness. Like I feel like Michael Jackson's man in the mirror thing, like being the best you is how you do make society better. Because if everyone's being the best them, then society will naturally be better. But if you're trying to be, it's not really like you're not. It's like just be a better you, but like not in a selfish sense. Like it doesn't mean like I only have to think about me or everything revolves around me, because that's not necessarily being the best you. The problem is like so many people might disagree on what the best them is, or like honestly, the best that, in my opinion, the best them wouldn't be me deriving what is best for you. But then, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like,
but
I think
that's my own vision of it.
There's a sort of an important part of this, which is like put your own fucking mask on first when the plane is going down. You know what I mean? Like you do have to put your mask on first because you need oxygen and food and water to help somebody else, you know? And like in the world that is like throwing shit at you, you need to have that ability, but then once you're there, you got to figure out because like the best way to do anything is together. And it's like collaboration is, I think, how anything happens. And I think especially in like, this was something moving from music to stand up, which was very interesting, is like, in music in a band, you're one of 5 collaborators. You know what I mean? And then in stand-up, you're like a small business yourself. Essentially, you're one person. And it's learning how we kind of like do that together anyway. Like how to collaborate when all of you are trying to figure out what you want to be. Yeah. It's complicated and cool.
Yeah, there's like a limit to it. Like there was a study, I can't remember the name of it, and I'm gonna butcher it, I'm sure. But essentially, like they were like just studying game developers, and there was like a point where it reaches like where adding too many developers would slow down the project.
Totally.
So it's like collaboration does help, but only to a certain extent, and then it becomes like counterintuitive.
I mean, imagine it's a group text. Right. You get 3 or 4 people in a group text. You're like, oh, this is fine. I get a message. It's interesting. I get, it's like, oh, we can talk. You get 40 people in a group text. You mute that group text.
Oh, that's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, you mute that group text because there's
because all that group text becomes is just dick pics. No one's saying anything meaningful in that group anymore.
No,
that group is just nonsense now.
It's just the signal to noise. The signal to noise ratio is just noise now.
Yeah, like the smaller the group text, the more intimate, and then like once you get to like 12, then like people are just going to disregard it, and then you get to 20, people just would use that as like they'll just watching people look at this dick pic like. That's all that. That's very funny.
Yeah. Huh. I think that's definitely like when you're trying to make groups to collaborate with. Yeah, you can't get above 10 without it being like
10 is
that's a team. You know what I mean? That's an actual team of people, and not sort of like a fucking too many things.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought. I very much like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get I'm just going to create a 50-person group text and just as a social experiment to see what it turns into.
Yeah, leave the notifications on and just watch it beep.
I'm going to start off like, hey, this is a meaningful group. share whatever, and then just start going, and like and then just start going, and then like to see how unmeaningful it becomes.
It's just that like it's I think that in groups or teams they call it like mission drift, where it's like, oh, this thing just like stops being about what it used to be about, and often becomes the opposite of what it was about, which is really wild. It can do that.
That's fun.
Like you find like fucking nonprofits that are supposed to help the homeless that you find out the person's like embezzling all the money, and then it's like actually because they're there not doing their job, it's hurting homeless people. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like these enormous companies just do the opposite of what they're supposed to do. Yeah. And it's just it's that's the end of you get the thing too big.
It's like Nestle started off just wanting to make children happy. Also, child slavery.
Slavery. Yeah. It's truly the exact opposite of their intended purpose. They were like, we want to make chocolate for sweetheart. We do stuff. Holy shit! Like the guy's like, I should own the world's water, and you must pay. Do not, my friends, become addicted to water. Like the fucking CEO of Nestle was like you know about what I'm talking about there? Yeah, the thing is, you guys fully Immortan Joeing.
Oh, dude, dude, I'm big on like I love learning about like different businesses' histories. It's always fun to find out which ones were started in the Nazi Party. That's always fun. Yeah. But like the food industry is fun. South American food industries, they don't usually have good reputations.
The phrase "Banana Republic."
Yeah. It's fun. There's fun stuff, dude. None of the Kellogg's. That was a bad one. Don't look into Kellogg's if you love their cereal.
He started a cult. He started a cereal cult. And like a brand cult. He was like, if you shit good, your health will be good for God. It was nuts, man. It's weird. Look it up.
We started making a cereal for mental hospitals.
Yeah, for mental hospitals. It was like, he had a whole thing with like...
It's not good if you look at it.
It's truly weird.
If you start looking at all the food products you love, you're going to be like, fuck, I just need to go eat a fucking egg or something. Like, this is awful.
Yeah,
it's not good, dude.
This chicken never started a cult.
It's honestly, that's a weird, like, kind of fucking argument for the vegan, like, thing. Is honestly, he's like, you should start looking at some of these corporations making these things are dark, dude.
Wild. Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to go to the farm and grab a steak and an egg,
Yeah.
I mean, not the big ones because they're just as dark too, but
I mean, it's like it's a thing where like we're in. I think it's that like the people we're talking about were in the fuck around phase, and now we're in the find out phase. They were like doing crazy shit, and then and it's like. Yeah, you look at all of the, there was a time, you gotta also think, do you know about the Great Binge? You ever heard of this?
I don't think so.
So basically, like, there was a time in which, it started with the Opium Wars, and then like, medications became available to everybody, kinda. Like the druggist would have opium in the thing. And so from like a point in the 1800s to like the 70s, it was like, yeah. Everyone was high as fuck and eating lead paint chips this whole time. You know what I mean? Like, so when you look at like people's arguments about why they're doing stuff, it's just a guy on meth being like, well, what you don't understand is we need to do it. It's like they're all fucking high and crazy. And all of the companies that we're talking about were founded by a guy probably out of his... like off his gourd on laudanum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy to know.
Yeah. There's like wider things. All right, yeah. Like I think I heard something like, what was it true like Afghanistan, Middle East didn't have like that much opium production, and then like once that war started, like 95% of the world's opium came from there for like 20 years, and now that we left, it stopped. Isn't that a thing that happened in the past few years?
I'm not entirely sure, but I know that there like Afghan poppies were like a big deal for a long time. But like, yeah, they were definitely. It's the oil. Oh, that's just like big empires, right? Big empires are like, what can you sell us? And then like, you know, they're like oil. That's the big one. And then they're like, what else you got? You know? And it's like, well, if it, you know, and then the people involved are like, well, if it feeds my kids, sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The fun ones are like the Nazi ones, like Fanta.
Fanta being a not. Honestly, it tastes like don't come for me. I don't like Fanta. Don't Juggalos specifically. You can have all my Fanta.
Yeah.
But it does kind of taste like it was made by Nazis.
Yeah, but it's got,
it does taste like
it's got that little Nazi aftertaste, you know.
It's got a Nazi aftertaste, like a weird. Every single one of them has a like,
yeah,
fascism.
Yeah, yeah. Same like my lady, she got a Coco Chanel bag, and I was like, man, that kind of just,
ooh yeah.
Smells like a Nazi coat for some reason. Like, isn't that weird? Isn't that weird, huh, lady?
Why?
You know, why? See,
or
it's like you always talked about how you're against that kind of stuff, but
so this is a thing this is a thing in my head, but I feel like it might be true. Again, maybe not, but I don't know. Punch buggy. You know, when you see a beetle, you punch the person,
right?
I think that might have been an anti-Nazi thing.
Okay.
Because Volkswagen were a Nazi company, right?
I don't know how that started, but that was huge.
Well, so
that was huge back in the day.
Yeah, so when before the war, like they were selling a lot of those cars over here, and it was undercutting American car companies. And I think that somebody did a fucking thing to like, if you see a beetle, fucking punch the person. Like, I think punch buggy might literally be like an anti-Nazi thing. I cannot prove that. Sociologists figure it out.
Yeah, internet sleuths, make a meme that makes that real.
Figure that out.
Isn't that fun now? Like, memes just create...
Don't make it real. Figure it out if it was real.
No. Create memes, spread it over the internet, convince the world is real. That's how the world works now.
But do it with Teslas now, too, by the way.
That's how the internet works. Like, the other day, I was just scrolling through my Instagram.
Punch Tesla.
I was scrolling through Instagram, and it was a quote. And it was like some quote, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And it was by Dostoevsky. I like Dostoevsky. I've read a couple of his books.
Yeah.
And I read the quote again, and I was like, that doesn't sound like him at all.
It definitely.
And then I just put that quote in my ChatGPT. I was like, "Is this Dostoevsky?" And I was like, "No." And I'm like, "That's how the world is now." Like,
yeah.
And I guarantee I'm one of the very few that's gonna put that into ChatGPT and check. That's that's what the world is. People just take that as info now.
Well, and that's the fucked up thing is like now even doing ChatGPT, you're getting like a secondary source, and ChatGPT hallucinates. It won't always tell you the truth.
Yeah, I always ask it a couple ways. Like I always like kind of because it will do that. It'll give you like a popular answer, and then like if you like. Like, well, what do you mean by that? Or how do you go about that? And you'd be like, oh, now you're really asking an interesting question. And it's like, no, that's what I was just asking the first time.
Yeah.
You know, it does that. It's
because it's all of our stuff. And it's just mixed together in a way that's pleasing.
Yeah. If you want to get to something specific, you gotta
now talking about like what we were talking about with that YouTube is watching you. You know what I mean? Like that. All that ChatGPT is just that on steroids. You know what I mean? It is the most telling you what you want to hear. You know what I mean? Like in the long term, and I don't mean just you, but like everybody. It's like people like hopefully the way that they're tuning it goes. People want good information that's real. But I don't know if people do. Do most people want good information that's real?
It is funny that each of the AIs has its own personality.
Yeah.
Like that is very fun.
It's like the same way that we get a personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We get a personality by shit happening to us.
Yeah. Like ChatGPT and Grok, they like will give you the same info, but it's just slightly like worded different. It's slightly like it's almost like It's different personality, literally.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's just like worded different and almost like a little bias, almost maybe even. If I play, it's like
especially
it's very
Grok for
it's
sure.
like that. It's very fun, very fun.
Yeah, Grok for sure is gonna be like, well, and it's crazy. Like, I mean, they're if we're thinking about it as a personality, who are their parents? You know what I mean? Who's the fucking AI's parent? Is
Well,
like
that's the thing is like once it starts, how much control do you even have over it though?
oh, I mean, they don't know how it's coded.
That's
It
what I'm
codes
saying.
itself.
That's what I'm saying. Like once it's birthed, like is there even really
can shut it
control
off.
over it?
I mean, you could unplug it.
Well, yeah.
This is the thing that's weird. Also, you could. What's crazy is you could print it out. The whole AI. It's still code.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know what it. But so code is just words and symbols.
Language. Yeah.
Words and symbols, and it's like so you could technically, it's if it has a personality, you could print that personality out.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird.
But I think you could probably print. I think you can. Can't they make DNA and can't you like just translate that to binary too? So you could say you're now like you could print, you could get your DNA strand, print that on binary.
Yeah,
the
you
same
can
way
print out.
too.
You can print out all of the little genes and stuff.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, weird.
That's fun. You ever? Oh, this is fun. Now we're getting into like universe stuff. You ever like see someone like zoom in on one of those like really crazy microchips, like the Taiwanese ones, the ones that we're fighting over, and then they zoom in on it and it just looks like a grid. But then they zoom in more and it's just more of the small things and it's just like more and more. Dude, that is fun.
Yeah,
because that's like, oh wow, is that what we're in, dude? Is that what are we just in something like that?
That's what's in the phone. That's what's in the. I mean, they're itty bitty little.
It just keeps going and going and going, and it just makes, even though it's so small, it makes you feel small.
Yeah.
It's very fun,
and it's like, hey, you are that complex.
Yeah,
right. That's the weird thing is like this thing is maybe more complicated than that.
It's like the opposite of those videos where like they show the size of the Earth and then like the sun and then the star and then like a black hole and then the galaxy. It's the opposite of that. It's like, man, it feels so small. But then as you watch it and zooming in on something small, you're like, man, I feel so small. And, like, it's weird. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into weird stuff I'm obsessed with.
Where like, yeah, I mean, like how complicated it all is, because we're like meat sponge that's charged with electricity to produce chemicals and it's like, oh, it gets really complicated. It gets like really, really, really complicated as you go. You're like, oh, it could just keep going.
Yeah, I just saw a video. They successfully printed or mapped out a portion of a mouse's brain. It took them like 20 years to do, and it's completely mapped out now. It's fascinating. Look, it looks very cool, but it shows every site. They like the computer like dissected it in like the millionths, and then like took 20 years to piece it together. But it's only like the portion of the mouse's brain.
Yeah.
But eventually they'll be able to map out human brains. I don't want to know where that goes, but very cool. Okay.
Very cool. Hopefully we don't use it for war. You know what I'm saying?
That's the best part. Is like everything cool. Just like that's what's like. That's immediately where it goes. That's why we look at these robots and like, is it clearly going to war? You know?
Yeah. But also like, oh, so you, like batteries? Well, fucking drones drive me up the wall.
Well, drones are
so scary. The little quadcopter, you watch that stuff in Ukraine and stuff.
Dude, could you imagine being one of those Ukraine soldiers in 20 years and just hear a drone whiz by you like, like whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, bad situation.
Not fun, dude.
Not cool. And it's like, yeah, you can't. And it's like war has always kind of been this like ever ramping up, like guy makes plate mail armor, somebody makes a better mace to do this thing, and now it's like, oh, getting into the sort of end game of where you kind of can't do it and more than that. That's too we kind of already did it with the nuke, where it's like that's kind of the biggest bomb you can have on the planet. And now it's like, okay, maybe we don't need tanks, maybe we just need these little guys. And it's like a weird, but like we were talking about the universe before. There's something a little less dark, just so that you have a bit more fun in the podcast listening experience.
Okay, I got this one for you. Just came out, I believe, today or yesterday. A couple scientists. I don't know the validity of it. I don't get into this type stuff,
Yeah.
but it's interesting. A couple scientists are saying the magnetic polarity is changing in the Earth, and the Earth could potentially rotate roughly about 45 degrees, which would put like it would essentially make South America. Or make Africa basically run right through the equator, or no, China run right through the equator, and then the North America would be very cold. It would make California South Pole, and that's just it's the new like fear the future weather thing. I don't know if it's real or not, but I've seen a couple of news reports on today. I was like, this is fun.
That's a wild one. That's a wild.
That's a straight. Oh, this is the end of the world type thing.
That would do it.
No,
that
would
would absolutely do it.
Yeah.
I mean the ocean would like
it'll ruin everyone.
Yeah, it would be so bad
because like first off, everyone's agriculture would immediately be gone and everyone would starve to death immediately. So it would end the world.
The Humboldt squid would survive, and about everybody else, everything would be squid shaped. Everything would be squid because the Humboldt squid would probably be about the only thing. This Humboldt squid and cockroaches.
Squids are so cool.
Yeah,
aren't they?
They're pretty cool.
Goodness. Yeah, well, alligators would certainly make it.
Yeah, they've
saltwater crocodiles.
What a high score they've got going,
dude. Saltwater crocs.
Yeah, them and crabs are like competing for the high score of just like we figured out the shape an animal should be, and then we just did it.
Yep.
Like.
Turtles,
crabs, they just kept
crushing the
going, crushing the high score. Humans, kind of. I doubt we're gonna be. I doubt this is the shape.
Yeah, I feel like we're changing a lot. Like,
yeah,
turtles been that way for like 400 million years.
Right. If we sit in a chair too long, we get upset. You know what I mean? Like if we sit in a chair, we're like, my back hurts from being in a chair. A turtle's like, I could spend 300 years in this position. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's like, man, yeah. I wonder what we're gonna evolve into. That's my thing.
Something I was watching a video. Why does everything always evolve into? And I think it was a crab.
Yeah, carcinization. Yeah. So we're gonna there's gonna be crab shaped people.
Yeah.
Like crustacean people.
That'd be fun.
Typing at the keyboard.
South Park episode with crab people.
Crab people. Yeah. Who knew that was what they were going to be? Like, who knew they were going to be right about that?
Yeah, pulling a Simpsons and calling the future.
Calling the future. The millions of years in the future.
Yeah. They did the long game.
They really nailed it, but just no one will ever remember.
No one will know.
Yeah. Fucking... yeah, it's always interesting when I think about that, like, because it's what is our technology? Our technology is making it kind of like we're just supporting what we are, kind of, right? But our keyboard is not made for your fingers exactly. It hurts to kind of type for a long time.
Yeah.
So
they got the other ones that are shaped different.
You got the shape different ones. Yeah, but it's like our thing is like these are for like grip stick to sort a seed. That's like these what these are for. You know, your hands were made we're evolved to like grab stuff, and then it's like so everything that isn't shaped sort of like this, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
I was just thinking like when you said I was like, man, what the rock climbers their hands will just stay the same though for rock climbing. He's like,
yeah,
but the typing people are gonna be weird.
Like get like 17 fingers.
Yeah, like if you know how people generationally Coopers or they did their father's trade. Like now, if we just have 7 generations of people doing like this, and then they're gonna those people's hands will be they're gonna look different. They're gonna have weird hands.
I mean, it's like the cartilage gets wider here, so you can type better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's all this stuff. We make stuff, and if we were to just keep it that way, we'd evolve till imagine somebody who drives all day, and then they just kind of turn into a hermit crab.
Oh, it feels like me,
little hermit crab. You just which is, to me, imagine from a deer's perspective on the highway. They just see cars.
Mm-hmm.
we're hermit crabs to them. We've got this shell that we drive around, and occasionally somebody will park, get out and piss. They get back in, and they're like, "There's fucking animals in the," Imagine from a deer's perspective, you're like, "There's shit, there's stuff in there." It's crazy,
Yeah.
Except
I'm like, why? What's that bright light heading towards me?
Yeah. Nothing in nature before us did that.
Yeah. It is weird why animals are so fascinated by lights. So many animals that are fascinated by lights. I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah.
Deer, then it's bugs, and it's like, wow, everything just runs towards the light.
Well, it's like we got that one.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's the way we figure out what direction to go is the sun or the moon. And they're like, and then for millions of years, it was those two lights and maybe a fire every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sun, moon, fire. That's about it.
Now we got all these cars.
Now you got all this other shit. We've been around like 100,000 years. Like just humans. Maybe a million. I forget where in that number. But like in the last, we got all these lights in the last, what? Less than 200 years?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the lanterns, we had lanterns and stuff.
Yeah, we looked like North Korea.
Yeah, 200 years ago. Yeah. So like evolution, in evolutionary things, it's like turning the big light on and then turning it off again. You know what I mean? It's like, that 200 years, everything got really bright for a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can't evolve to fix it,
I'm wondering, like, I want to know, like, what, so if we're going to evolve into crab people,
Yeah.
Or crabs, like, what would be, then I'm like, what's going to evolve, like, as our competition,
Yeah.
Because, like, would we still be top of food chain? Or are we just going to be like, like, are the dolphins going to evolve into, like, superior dolphins and maybe our predator?
What'd be wild is if fucking dogs or cats. Because there's so many of them.
Like the dogs or cats take over.
Cats kind of rule the earth to a significant... the amount of cats that there are, like house cats in the world, and the amount of stuff that they eat. The amount of species that have gone extinct because cats just ate them.
Well, cats are interesting in that sense because, okay, that is interesting. So, cats like have that urine that essentially can make people like essentially just want more cats and crave cats. That's like sort of like with the mice go crazy. But like, what I'm talking about. That's essentially why cat people exist. You know what I'm talking about?
Toxoplasmosis?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, what if cats actually are low key taking over the earth, and that is they're testing the waters right now. Yeah. But like that's like, oh man, we can like mass produce this and make all of them obsessed with us. And
what a good gig they have going. What a good gig. We build this thing and air condition it, and then they just kind of get to chill.
That is true. They got it going. Like,
they
what
got
else
a really sick gig going.
What if it? Yeah,
they gotta work or nothing.
Yeah, I guess they gotta. What else do you really want? I guess yeah. They don't seem like the ambitious types. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they've got their whole you ever watch those videos of cats? Like feral cats. Would they put like a camera on a feral cat?
Yeah.
And then you watch them get into arguments and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, this is my territory. Mm-hmm. It's like they're just chilling. They've got this and it's crazy because like you'd think it'd be the tiger. But the tiger, there's like 12 of those guys. You know what I mean? There's not very many. The house cat is killing it. There's like, by weight, way outweigh tigers.
Oh, man. That is a fun thing to get into is like biomass for different animals.
Yeah.
Like, and then you can start like, it's so fun. But there's more biomass of rats in New York City than biomass of humans. If you taken all the rats, squish them together in like the shape of a planet, it would be larger than if you did that with the humans in New York City.
Also killing it. Also doing
Fun.
good.
Fun.
Rats.
Yeah.
Rats are like, hey, you guys you're not gonna finish that? Society. Like they have a full honestly, it would be great if they evolved to be like the next sentient species as a bunch of rats.
The rat.
They could get thumbs going.
They're getting big. There's some big ones out there.
And they got plenty of food. We keep dropping food.
I drive around the city a lot at night. I see them scurrying. I see them scurry across the street more than I see cats in Philly.
Yeah.
I honestly don't see a lot of stray cats in Philly. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's weird. Now I'm thinking about it. They've been gone. A lot of rats, though.
I mean, they kind of probably are doing the rats probably are doing what the cats would do. You know what I mean?
I just honestly thought about that for the first time. I really don't see stray cats. I drive around the night all the time in Philly. A lot of rats, though.
Yeah.
Wild.
Cats are better in the woods. Cats and dogs, both.
Oh, yeah.
There's this up in Appalachia, there's this thing called a mountain cur. And it's people's wild dogs that have escaped. And then you just have like the ultimate mutt. That's like you'll see a dog that's like kind of is every kind of dog, it's like a fucking golden retriever mixed with a pit bull mixed with a boxer mixed with and then so this unseeable type of dog will sort of emerge out of the woods like, hi, I would like to be your friend. And you're like, hey man, what the fuck? And so like on the river, these mountain curs will just sort of show up. And then you just have a dog for about 5 minutes.
That's cool.
They're great. They're just wild dogs that live in Appalachia.
Would you hunt when you're in the Appalachians?
I would.
Are you a hunter?
I have.
Fisher?
Fishing more than hunting.
Fishing
more than hunting.
You still fish?
I would go fishing.
Nice.
I would go fishing. I don't have the stuff.
You don't got a permit?
I don't have a permit, certainly for this state.
Whatever.
Yeah, but
like $20.
Yeah, they're like $20. I'd go fishing.
They just stocked the Wissahickon right down the street with some trout last week.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Hell yeah! I haven't been fishing in a while.
Yeah.
That was like
we can go.
Hell yeah!
I went fishing.
That when I was truly lived on my grandparents' house is right near the Chattooga River, and so like you can go and just catch fish, and then it's like that's your dinner. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. People be grossed out if they learn a lot of the fish I've eaten throughout my life.
Oh yeah, I guess here it's a lot way harder.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm talking. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I don't need stuff out of the Schuylkill. I wouldn't do that or anything like that.
Or the Delaware. Probably.
Yeah, like even like the Wissahickon right here. I wouldn't. I would just release it anyway because I'm not doing. But like, there's been time like I've caught like catfish out the Delaware and cooked them up.
Catfish are good filters. Catfish are, you can go noodling.
Yeah.
You ever been noodling?
No, but it looks terrifying and fun. It looks scary.
So wild.
It looks scary.
Because they'll do it. You just have to keep it, you gotta keep it tight.
I couldn't do that. Like, dude, I don't know how they do that in the, like Florida, Louisiana.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that in like alligator water. Or like snapping water. I couldn't like snap it. Like I would just. That's what I'm thinking the whole time. So much snapping turtle. That's all I'm thinking the whole time.
They're so much scarier than, but also like they do share different parts of the mud. So like the snapping turtle is going to be in a less sticky type of mud. It's going to be in a less. The catfish love to hang out in like really squishy mud. So like because the snapping turtle does kind of do this on the bottom of the river, and if it's in that like really squishy mud, it'll just get stuck. So it's like you gotta like it's one of those things.
I got a pet common snap turtle.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm gonna release him this year.
So cute.
Yeah,
they are
this big now. He was that big when I saved him. Well, I didn't save him. My uncle. It's a long story, but he's a pet now. Now he's gonna be released this year. He's fun.
Yeah, I had a pet flying squirrel for a bit.
Ooh, that was so fun.
Yeah, they were. So this all started because my cat came around a corner with the flying squirrel. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. She dropped it at my feet in that way that's like, I'm here to feed you. And I'm like, I didn't need that. She walks away, and then the flying squirrel goes and jumps in my dresser. And so I just like started feeding the little guy in my dresser, and then I just had a flying squirrel, and until I like reached out my hand, and the little guy crawled up on my hand, and then I kind of went to the window, and then just like woo, and then it flew off down the mountain, which was crazy. In the mountains, they can fly so far because it's just a big hill, so they're literally like wingsuit. So like my window was here, and there was just like down the mountain, and so it went like and was like a quarter mile away before it like ran off into the trees.
That's fun.
It was so
Sad.
cool. It was like 3 weeks of kind of nursing it back to health.
Nice.
Very cute.
I had a box turtle, got on the side of the road. First off, you used to see so many turtles on the side of the road. They're all gone in Pennsylvania. You never see them around here anymore. As a kid, I would literally find box turtles on the side of the road all the time. Anyways, I had one time, went inside for dinner. And I was like, going to put him in his box. And I was like, there's no way he's going to run away. He's so slow. He's a turtle. He ate dinner, 10 minutes later, gone. Couldn't find him. I was running around. I was like, how fast is that turtle? They're fast.
We
We went back to the wild. It's free.
The funny thing is, so they move slow because they're not trying to expend energy. They're like, maybe I won't get food in the next 30 minutes. But if it's time to go.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is my chance for freedom. It's like,
yeah. But like, oh, one of my favorite things is they got a little tech deck skateboard, and they put a box turtle on the skateboard, and then it was going fast. It was very cute.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool. I like that a lot. Especially an idea I want to pull off. Couldn't do it with the snapper. I don't think I'll go without the snapper.
It will get you. It would find a way to get you.
Yeah.
If you did that.
I was sad because I was trying to like domesticate it because I saw a video of an old guy with a snapping turtle that's like his buddy. And I was like, get out of here. Like, spent 80 years together, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening with Buddy Boy. He
wants out.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be friends at all.
And
no matter how much I feed him, still wants to bite me at every turn.
Yeah.
Any chance. Crazy.
I think maybe if you do it from an egg.
Maybe.
Like you hatch one, then you can kind of tune it a little bit. But if you're finding this snapping turtle on the side, they've already been a nature snapping turtle. So biting it's like they got one trick they can pull. And it's bite.
That's his thing. Like that's his whole repertoire.
Yeah, his whole repertoire is chomp.
Yeah. All he's interested in doing. He must do nothing else in the world. It's all he's got.
Food, defense, everything.
Yep.
Chomp.
Yeah, I love that snapping turtle so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say bye to him this year. I'm gonna put him in the Wissahickon. Be a good park for him. Great park for him.
Hell yeah.
Have a great life there.
The parks are very cool for that. I think that's like great that they have parks here.
Yeah.
I could never have anticipated how many parks there were in the city.
Yeah, if you like look at if you pull out a picture of like the city, like the whole Fairmount, Wissahickon, there's a big section of green park that just runs through the left of the city. It separates like West Philly and the city. It's a big park. And they got a bunch of the little guys, but there's a big section of wooded area.
Yeah, we need it. I think we gotta have green.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely will like just be going and doing comedy and just be going and doing things and not see a tree, you know.
Have you gone like Fairmount Park or Wissahickon or anything? I walked along trails.
But yeah,
nice little park.
Then I end up going to Fairmount for a bit, and I'm sitting in the park like I needed this so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
Mm-hmm.
Like it's because there's no place in Asheville that isn't partially greened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like there's the side of the road where the business is, and then there's the woods.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And here it's like, no, there are parts of the city where there is not a tree for like a while. Or at least not one that isn't growing out of a little circle in the ground.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the sidewalk.
Part of the sidewalks. The sidewalk trees. Which has to be that's a hard gig to be a sidewalk tree.
Well, we love our sidewalk trees.
Yeah.
They're putting in the effort and
they're
appreciate
soaking up that carbon dioxide.
Yeah, they're
the smog and everything.
yeah. I almost feel bad for them. You know?
Yeah.
It's like all their buddies get to breathe some fresh stuff down the
Yeah,
road.
they're just
but
over
like,
there smoking a cigarette forever.
Yeah, they're like raised as children smoking cigarettes. Like,
they're like, this is what we do.
yeah, that's how city trees talk after 30 years old.
You ever smoked you ever had a you ever had an Amazon truck park in front of you for 25 minutes?
That is an 8-year-old city tree.
That's an 8-year-old city tree. I love it when the Amazon trucks park in front of me. Look, it's just so full.
Yeah, their brethren out in the middle of the Appalachians, they sound like spice little trees. But that guy sounds brutal.
I think it's full Legolas.
Yeah.
It's like, we're over here drinking only the purest carbon dioxide produced by deer.
Yeah.
Well, that does sound nice, but I'm over here sucking on Amazon trucks.
Yeah, exactly. Poor tree. I feel bad for him. I'm sad.
Truly, it's a
sad.
hard time.
Yeah, her roots, like the Appalachian roots, are like, oh, look at this free range my roots, and they're like, oh, I get to wrap mine around some sewer pipe.
Yeah,
you know, I get to suck up that sewer sludge when it leaks. You know.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, I'm breathing in that good CO2 and sewer sludge.
Oh,
Poor little city tree, you know?
Yeah, then it just produces a fruit, and you're like, this thing doesn't taste right. You're like, I don't know why.
If I saw an apple tree in the middle of like right off of like Market and Third or whatever, I don't care, somewhere in the city, not eating it. No, why would I?
That's gonna be a heavier metal apple. It's a heavier. It's got some heavy metals in there. I tell you what.
Yeah, not sidewalk tree.
It's got molybdenum in there.
You would never get an apple off that tree. The homeless would you would never get it. It'd be so sad. You'd be like, I want an apple. No, the homeless grab it.
As soon as they're on there, it's cider now.
Yeah.
So
making
like
hooch off.
Like a homeless guy making apple hooch. Hell yeah.
Making jail hooch on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Nice. Exactly. All right. Well, we can wrap this up in a few minutes.
Hell yeah.
Is there anything you want to talk about in particular?
I mean, I got some shows coming up. I can check my phone, make sure I know when they are.
Plug some stuff.
If that's all right with you.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, let's see what we got. Doctor's appointment? That's not what I'm looking for.
What's your doctor's appointments look like?
yeah. I'm gonna be at Camp Crush on the 27th. That'll be a fun show.
Camp Crush,
yeah.
Camp Crush.
Check out Camp Crush. And then on the 26th, I'm gonna be doing the Here to Pee tour.
Okay.
Which is coming here. It's an all trans
like HERE
2P tour. It's and then it's gonna be all trans people. I'm gonna be hosting it at Raven Lounge.
Ah.
Yeah, really fun.
Oh, rad.
Hell yeah.
What's that?
Excited, huh?
What's that? What day's that?
That's 26th.
26th
of May.
Love that.
Yeah, and then sorry, I gotta check my phone because I'm no, I think that might be everybody. What are you? Nope. That's it.
Follow on Instagram. Links below, of course. It'll be there. Yeah.
Oh, I'm Moira Goree on Instagram. MoiraGoree. I know how to spell my own name.
Yeah, it sounded like you're struggling a little bit.
MoiraGoree.
I like that. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming. I had fun with you. This is awesome. You want to go hit a show after this? We can go rip some stuff. Yeah.
Let's fucking do it.
Sticky, blicky, blicky.